Hello. This is a free, downloadable 12 group spawn rig that I just decided to put up now so people can grab it and have a bit of fun before I do the thinking rope extended, which is obviously going to use this as a base file, and I'll do another file on the day that's got the bit of particle motion that we did before in the last one, and just some really simple stuff. And I'll also I think talk through a quick update to this, because it's not exactly what everything I'd want it to be, because some sort of bog standard matrix particles are being produced here and here, and they're I do use them at times. Like this is very useful here. In fact, this is brilliant because of just using the push apart effector, and it's perfect for what I want to do. It just creates a field for simulation objects, so you can plonk 10 groups in, and they're all spaced apart. Now it's because there's a few variables, like there's a push apart effector in here, and this has got a push apart effector. That's just preset to a radius of 100 because it makes sense, and the spawn kind of radius is actually pretty big, and I've range mapped the collider so that based on the particle count, the outer collider will resize, because you can't see it and you'll probably just forget. There's a bit of space there, because I've added, I was going to put this up just as it is, and then happens around me I just went, oh well, we can add this pretty easily. But they're just matrix particles, but obviously you can pin stuff to these, or you can displace them with repulse and bounce, and I think they just drift back to their matrices, but I'm not entirely sure because I don't use them very often. But the way I've set this up is that we can, at a later date, we can just put in, they've both got espresso tags, so we can just put in a better emission than doing it direct from the matrix object. So little vagaries. Outer surface, obviously, I don't know if there's a limit. If you encounter limits with your fields here, there's probably a reason for it, but you can change them in the user data. If you just find the relevant like OS count, default value is 20 and the max is 1000. It's just because doing this sort of stuff, you don't really want huge numbers, and the main count obviously is going to drive this collider radius, and I think this is 10 to 10,000, just so you can whack it up and wish you hadn't. Main count, there you go, minimum 10, max 10,000. If you push it up, the collider just gets huge, and you just, you'd be doing something different than this. This is kind of like for a specific thing. So you can change all that stuff there. Group count, there's only 10 groups, and there's no point only having one, so you vary that between 2 and 10, and that's just completely automated. But generally you have to do this, and you'll just notice now you've only got 2 groups with the same particle count. And if you put in a couple of zeros and do this, we'll have to pull the camera back. And this is just a bit of a weird phenomena that you get this. There's a definite kind of pattern in there. So there's 10 groups for kind of starting out in this stuff. That's just if you're doing particle motion. Why am I seeing stuff? Oh, they're the outer ones because we've gone tiny again. See how much it grows. And that's obviously because of the push apart effector, and if you change that, you'd need to change this range mapping in here, which is dead straightforward. It's just the main count. I'm expecting it to be 100, so I don't see why anyone would just do 10. Seems pointless. So that's basically that, and you can just leave all of that closed up because you don't really need to go in there, and your options are basically in here. And pretty much lastly, you can clear out the center because you might want to do something where there's no particles in there. I know maybe it looks like there is, but they've been cleared out. But it's kind of a crude method. I'm driving the actions with this object. So if you're going to move things, move the spawn rig complete. In fact, we should just be able to prove the theory. There we go. So it's, you're not in any way bound to being in one place. So that's that, but just keep it all together. I haven't, obviously there's no tags on there stopping you from doing stuff, because I kind of like, that's why I've been trying to get people to build stuff, because the more you know about a tool, it changes it from a hammer to something a bit more useful. But obviously if you're playing around in here and you break it, please just download the file again, rather than asking me why, because I'm not going to know easily, because there's as you can see, I just stacked all of this, and there's various bits of logic which makes all this happen. Oh yeah, you can also swap your particles, so that was the purpose of doing that. And on this little group here, they're pushed apart much smaller, just 20, so that's for like fry. I do these things that I call helioids, which are just a helix, but try not to give it too much points. And you just don't have many, you don't have coils, you just have a little twizzly thing, and then just use fix with pins, and they retain some of their original shape, and it looks like that stuff, life in water stuff. So anyway, I hope that people will just get on and find that useful. I'll be back pretty soon with the thinking rope extended or possibly advanced. All of this is going to look old hat quite soon, because I've come up with a system for complex volumes, and I just saw a whole load of new opportunities, and it's kind of caused a data nightmare, which is going to just feed back into this sort of stuff, because now I can do this in a much more, I think I can iterate the data across the emissions essentially. Oh yeah, that's the, I said about doing this. We'll just work these up, the collider surface. We'll put a little X group in there and use a P-storm node, and then we'll just turn this off. But yeah, the reason I'm kind of don't use these much is that you can't give them any birth attributes, so you can't use custom data channels, and they literally don't have a lot of attributes, but brilliantly they just stick with them relative matrices. So anyway, hope you're gonna just get on and have some fun, clone a load of stuff on there, different groups, picking them out from here. They're all in this main. I'm hoping people are just going to find this incredibly straightforward. In fact, just if we just put this in here. I might have moved something. Oh, I only moved that. And then just put a pyro tag on it. And oh, we've got colour, so look at this. Oh yeah, Pyro seems to be working off particle size rather than particle scale, so I'm not quite sure why that is, because obviously you can use p scale to do stuff. Oh yeah, we'll have to change this and then pray, I suppose. Something's happening, but not much. Anyway, you get the picture that the colours are in there. So yeah, have some fun. If you do have any problems, like with the download, I can't see there would be any, just pop it in the comments, and anything I've forgotten to say, they'll put something in the description. Okay, all the best. Bye.